So I think we should be good. I just have to play it correctly. Yeah, this matchup isn't one that I've played a whole ton of. So we're gonna see how it goes. And Techless on a Phoenix, as stated by a lot of players, he is very he's very hard to kill. He doesn't do a whole ton of damage himself. And he's also very expensive, which is good for me since we have enough to kill single entities in the late game with our Blood Knights and Vargulf, our Lord. So as long as we don't lose those in the mid game, we'll be able to deal with any single entities that give us trouble. Let's see, I remember hearing Aerocrastic actually saying that you don't have to go too wide with your army. I don't think I'll be getting a huge surround with these zombies. So let's try that out. Mortis Engine, you can go on 9. We're going to have the groups locked so that they all move at the same speed. And then later, once the fighting happens, I'll split these guys into their own control group so that I can make sure they go where they need to go. Now, looking at the enemy troop count, would you look at that? It's a very small army. We can expect Sisters of Avalorn or Dragon Princes or just dragons. So let's see what he got. Okay. Nice. And so as you can see, the classic corner camp position. Got him very close to the white line here. And interestingly, white lines of Trace and some sword masters of Hoeth. So he's opted for a very expensive front line here. And I think the best way to deal with them, probably cycle charging with our cavalry. In fact, he doesn't have too many spears here. He has a noble on an eagle. Very uncommon. You usually see him on a horse or a chariot. Probably because he has very little HP on an eagle, turns out. Now, is that spread shot on the Vargulf? It is. We'll just dodge with the Vargulf a little bit while we wait for the engage to happen. You can't really run them out of ammo, but hey, it's good practice and we get some warm up while we wait for the fighting to begin. But usually you'd want to put the Vargulf outside of range until your infantry starts fighting. Now what's this? We have a princess on a dragon, which means he does not have magic by the looks of it, unless they are stealthed. So okay, yeah, very interesting. Yeah, Zyphos, we could bring Wind of Death. That would close out these games much faster, but I feel like that's a little bit of a cop-out here, since we are still figuring out vampire counts ourselves. Now anyways, our front line is going to be moving up, and we have the Sword Masters of Hoeth standing their ground as our Blood Knights come in for a mighty charge, and hopefully while he's distracted, he actually dodges. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Kudos to our opponent here. But okay, we're going to give these Sword Masters a lot of pain. And wow. Actually, no. Looks like only the initial charge did damage. And the consecutive charges after did surprisingly little. Now we want our zombies to bog down the Sword Masters. We want our Graveguard to... what's it? We want our Graveguard to fight these Spearmen. Getting good matchups. is good. Now, continuing in with the cycle charging. He could land with his dragons here, but that would be a risky maneuver for sure. Let's see here. We're going to pull back, and those sword masters are nearly dead, which means we have that's really good since they're very expensive. Turns out not having charged defense here is a very bad idea. So we'll just keep up with our cycle charging and give him another pendulum. See if he's paying attention. And this time he wasn't. He just caught it a little bit too slow. But yeah, not fast enough. Now we're not too worried about shutting down these bolt throwers. Their DPS is pretty low. So honestly, typically in other games you would want to be shutting down archers instead of the bolt throwers. Worst that you could be doing, I would guess, would be plonking away at my Vargulf. Would be a bit annoying. But yeah, I haven't really tested that out, so I'm not sure how it would play out. And sadly, our opponent here didn't do a whole ton with his princess and noble. It seems like they're staying safe in the skies, which is a pretty bad problem for them, since their troops on the ground need support. So all of that gold was sadly spent shooting something with the princess. I'm not sure exactly what. Our opponent surprisingly good at noticing those wind spells though, so that's pretty interesting. And we get to see now why corner camping can be pretty bad at times. It does give you the advantage of these white lines. Stop my movement. But your units will rout off much easier. So while definitely advantageous, it isn't it's not always the best option. Our opponent continuing to refuse to land his dragons here and his noble. In doing so, it means that his noble has basically gotten no value. You can see here he has 0 kills, which is maybe 1,000 gold down the drain, which is a huge shame. But okay, there we go. We got another game in. Thank goodness we were playing more of a rush style that time. Otherwise, that game could have taken even longer. That's just me. But yeah, you've also heard of Day 9. Yeah. Day 9, wonderful streamer. Although he doesn't stream too many strategy games nowadays. Huge shame, but you know, you gotta do whatever suits you. Now, back to Warhammer here. Let's see the army size of our opponent. Soon as I position my glorious chariots. And looks like a pretty small army. We've seen a lot of small armies today. Let's see if it's going to be some sort of monster rush, or if it's going to be another strange build like the last two that we've seen. Shall see. Give him a good luck, have fun. Not exactly responding to us, so we may start battle. We'll give it another 30 seconds, why not? Oh yeah, Fun Day Monday. Oh man, brings me back to my childhood watching Day 9. Yeah. I would like to get back into StarCraft 2 eventually, since I think it's just an amazing game. Am I up against a tournament? Player asks our opponent. Give him a yep. You'll be fine. All hail the Temple Guard spam. Ooh, that is true. We do have Temple Guard, but luckily for us, we do have a healthy amount of chariots and range units. Counter any boxing that he does. Taking a look, we got some Cold One Spear Riders. And what else? Ooh, we do have a Feral Carnosaur along with a Slann Priest of Heavens. What spells does he have today? Wind Blast, very good versus skeletons. Harmonic Convergence to help with any monster fights, along with the usual Slann spells of Banishment and Shield of the Old Ones, Aura of Quetzal, and also Blood Statuette of Spite, which we don't always see. Although maybe it is a common pick. I'm not entirely sure how good it is myself. So, to begin with the game, we are going to... Wow, he spotted these guys already. Going to move in our chariots, pull them back from the Umbral Tide. We do not want to get shot by them. And it looks like there's a flank of Chameleon Skinks. A nice target for our chariots. We're just going to sit nice and comfortably back while our Ushopti deal with those salamanders. And while we were testing our opponent's control, it looks like we failed at our own, letting our chariots get charged by some Cold One Spear Riders. But surprisingly enough, they're making it out alive. Good. Cetra, you have a front line to protect. Let's start by routing off those skinks. Our right side will be well covered by our chariots. And these Cold One Spears won't be too much of a problem. Good job, Cetra. He's defended the left flank. And we are chasing off those Chameleon Skinks. So feeling good there. Meanwhile, our Ushopti, he should continue hunting those salamanders. And what's that? That Carnosaur is coming in a little bit close. And a Banishment on top of our Tomb Guard. Pretty scary. We're going to start focusing that Carnosaur now that we are shutting down the salamanders. With our good old infantry, very cost effective there. And let's see here. And our chariots are getting pretty beat up by those Cold Ones. Let's hope our skeletons can help there. And so far I'm feeling pretty confident. We're putting in a lot of ranged into that Carnosaur. I don't really feel like taking a fight against it, especially with all these buffs coming in from the Slann. The Cetra is going to move away to safety. These chariots are crumbling away. Let's see if they can rout off some skinks before they go. Make sure that our front line is safe. We're going to bring in the Kepra Guard. Recently looked up by one of our dear viewers so that we know the name. And wow, this chariot's actually died to 2 Chameleon Skinks. I guess Chameleon Skinks are cheaper, but still, that's surprising. Now, let's see. We don't want these Cold One Spears cause us any problems. We'll move in the Kepra Guard, defend against them. Wind Blast, doing surprisingly little damage over there. And we have that Carnosaur on the run. Same with the Umbral Tide. You can tell that my chariots are dead, so you can expect some Chameleon Skinks coming from the back. Is that a huge problem though? Not really. There's not a whole ton that Chameleon Skinks will do to Ushopti, other than sort of just stand there and bog them down. Now we do have a charge coming in from these Cold One Spears. We use our AoE, but it doesn't do a lot of damage to them. It looks like it's better suited for infantry. Now we do have these Cold One Spear Riders at full HP. A little bit scary there. Good thing we have our Temple Guard who protect our Ushopti. I would shoot the Slann, He is at full HP, and I feel like he would take a really long time to kill. So instead, we're going to use our Shopti to shoot these Cold One Spears. Presumably much more cost efficient. And it'll get us immediate value, since a half HP Slann is as useful as a full HP Slann, as long as he's not dying. But anyways, Umbral Tide being chased off for quite a while. You can see the effectiveness of that based on their kills. They have very few kills, etc. Now jumping on top of the Slann with no real threats since the Carnosaur is dead. Let's see. We did not need to give him the physical resist, since the Slann does in fact do magic damage. But wow, he had 0 melee attack there for a second. I'm not sure we really needed to be burning winds of magic at all on the Slann fight. But this game is well and over at this point, so I guess it didn't matter too much. And GG! Another win for the Tomb Kings. Nice and nice. Okay, taking a screenshot for my data analysis, coming to you soon when it's done in the far future. Back, we got 4 Plague Monks. They will grind down a lot of the usual high elf chaff that comes our way, along with Skaven slaves who will be going in to flank around the sides to jump on top of archers. These guys will only fight archers, and that is their only job. That and taking charges from cavalry for us. We have clan rats, putting them on the flanks, also to flank around, so that when these Skaven slaves inevitably rout, these guys will be able to continue shutting down the archers. Have our hero death squad. We're going to put both of these guys on 4. Make sure that they stick nice and close together. We have a warlock engineer, since we have very little that can shoot up here. Aside from these gutter runners, we want to make sure that we can lock down those flying dragons. Here we go, flying dragons, so that we can kill them with our hell pits or hell pit abomination. Now with all of that out of the way, we will give our opponent a good luck, have fun. And a quick moment before we start up this game. Get at me, Oli. You say you love rushing with Skaven. Well then, my bad. Although, honestly, in tournaments, I feel like we see Skaven so little. Now, of course, Hadri's did win, I think, the last faction war with Skaven. That's pretty good. But yeah, typically right now it's a lot of, you see a lot of, well, Vampire Coast. You see a lot of Bretonnia for sure. And we are seeing a lot of Greenskins after the update. I think that is pretty welcome, since we didn't see a whole ton of Greenskins before. Having nice faction diversity, always feeling good. Oh, and of course Norska too. All very strong factions in the tournament scene. Let's see here. Hadri's won 2 faction wars with Skaven. Wow, okay. Yeah, Hadri's, of course, a very, very good Skaven player. Play them quite often. But enough of that. Let's get into the game. As you can see here, our opponent has brought absolutely nothing. No, that is just because of the hill. See on the mini-map that we cannot see what is on the other side. But it also means our opponent can't see us, unless he has some sneaky stealthed units along the side. So if we just continue hiding on this part of the hill. Never mind, looks like we've been spotted. Our opponent, good on him. He did not push up close to the hill, giving us a shorter rush distance. And ooh, some pretty good target fire on the hell pit. Looks like we dodged just in the nick of time, but he did take a little bit of damage. Good thing he has that regen. Now, we should be analyzing what our opponent has, since usually we would have more time. Let's see, what are these? Some silver helms, some Skaven slaves can pin them down. And these gutter runners, you can deal with that Phoenix. Now, he has a Phoenix Guard. Interesting choice. We'll just sort of ignore them. You know what, we'll bog them down with Skaven slaves. And these guys can just run right on through. There we go. Hell Pit Abomination, you can charge onto the Prince. And Snicketch, you can go ahead and use your crazy AoE. And take about a third of the HP off of those Lothern Sea Guard. Pretty good. I do say so myself. Now we have forgotten about our caster here. But he will be able to lock down that Phoenix while we move in along the sides. Now this cavalry can go ahead and start charging down our infantry, because we're not too worried about them. Our, the main threats to us are those archers. And, wow, Comet of Cassadora, I believe, just went down. Anyways, yeah, the main threat to us is... Actually, never mind, the Phoenix Guard are sort of a pain here. So maybe not. Let's throw down some more Warp Lightning on top of them. Yeah, we do have to be a little bit careful here. If we lose too much infantry, that would not be the best. But hey, a pretty good pick here. The Prince getting swarmed by a million Skaven. Feeling pretty good about that. He's positioning his cavalry to come in and charge my units in the back. But we have this nice group of clan rats and plague monks to bog them down. So, yeah, things are looking good. Let's keep shooting that Frost Phoenix, though. And throw down some more Warp Lightning. So far this is looking pretty good. These Phoenix Guard, honestly, it just seems like his build did not have enough of a front line to defend his archers. You can see the 2 bolt throwers that he bought and all the Lothern Sea Guard sort of got collapsed on very, very quickly. And Phoenix Guard, although good, if he had managed to rout all of our infantry, it's just not good enough at catching those big monsters. And there you go, another pretty quick and easy win. Now, we didn't have a whole ton to deal with the cavalry. I think our rat ogres could have done a little bit better at screening them away. And yeah, other than that, I felt pretty good. I think we just needed to shut down the cavalry a little bit better. You can see they got more value than I would have. But anyways, for the actual multiplayer game, our opponent enemy troop count is at 500. We have not seen a single build with more than 800 troops today. So keeping it up, the nice 500 troops. Wow. That means our Way Watchers, whatever they fire at, it will probably be worth it. I don't expect to be running out of ammo in this situation. So we're going to put these guys up front over here, and it looks like, let's see, are there any terrain features that we can use here? Maybe not. Now, we'll also deploy over here. And if we need to retreat, we'll run around this little ditch here, which surprisingly enough, units cannot go over it. I guess cavalry would have a hard time, and infantry would have a hard time climbing out. But when you're zoomed out, it's really hard to tell that that's a pathing blocker. But okay, let's see. So Way Watchers over there ready to retreat if needed. And we have our nice war dancers here. Kill any cavalry that gets too hasty. Now, I guess a pretty small army. We expect him to deploy quickly. And yeah. Yeah, alright. What could he have brought that has so few troops? Are they all Grail Knights? And then, like, I don't know, Fae? Or is it just an all-knight build? Does he have no infantry? Because that would be pretty hilarious. We would just sort of make a box formation here with our spears. And he wouldn't be able to do anything. Then again, that might actually work out pretty well. Now, any moment now, and our opponent will begin the game. Any moment now. I predict 15 seconds from now. Come on, let's do it. Getting too tense. I don't play enough Wood Elves to really be confident here with the Triple Way Watcher. But okay, we are in, and nice. We got some good old triangle formation on all the cavalry. And it looks like we have the good old no infantry strategy for the Bretonnians here. Along with Field Trebuchet, which looks like he managed to dodge our Arrow of Kurnos while he was repositioning it. So that actually worked out pretty well for him. And nice, we got a bunch of triangle formation. Let's see if we can get them with those Way Watchers. And we do want to take out that Field Trebuchet eventually. And oh, is that a Lord I see? So here's the most common thing that'll happen to you when you're playing against Wood Elves. Is this. This right here always feels the absolute worst when it happens to you. Oh, it looks like that cavalry's coming in hot. And brace spears, and there we go. Now, actually, we didn't manage to do too much damage to the Lord there. But what we did do is we managed to catch some nice cavalry. Are taking a little bit of damage. Wow, that Lord. Yeah, he's just taking no damage. Alright, now we have more knights coming in. Let's brace our spears. And let's try to kill that Lord again. And also kill that Trebuchet. Our Way Watchers are having a hard time shooting at the Lord, apparently. A little bit bad. And our cavalry should be cycle charging more. We have a ton of spear support. Means they should be able to do that. And okay, our Way Watchers are having a very hard time shooting. Come on, Way Watchers. Let's see here. How's our cavalry doing? Doing very okay. Now let's loose a volley on those Grail Knights. And yeah, it just feels like our Way Watchers are having a very hard time shooting today. But no matter, apparently Balance of Power likes us. His archers are very blobbed up, and I know our Way Watchers can hit them. So let's start getting those guys to rout. In fact, I'm thinking we might even get a Manticore and just rout all of them off. Another volley, plus the Manticore getting close. Should be able to do it. We're going to want to reposition our spears again, since it looks like, oh dear, he is going for our Way Watchers. Which means we're going to net one of the cavalry, and then shoot at the one that is moving. We get a little bit of damage there, but not a whole ton. Way Watchers, you can keep on running. These spears should have fought those netted knights yesterday. A little bit of miss micro on my part. And our cavalry should be coming in to support. And this Manticore too. Alright, nice. Way Watchers doing pretty good here, but they are getting in a pretty scary situation. Let's keep pulling them through. And they're going to have fire at will on our single spear unit. You're going to rush over there and give those archers some trouble. These spears are going to brace for the oncoming cavalry charge while we throw down another flock of doom. Way Watchers, keep trying to disengage to the best of your ability. And okay, it's looking pretty good. At this point, basically we have so many spears. I'm not sure if his cavalry will be able to survive against them. Let's see here, another charge coming in. Luckily we're braced. So yep, just keep on running. Little spearmen. I mean, Way Watchers. Let's see, what else do we got? Have his lord. Let's see if we can finish him off with an arrow of Kurnos. I'm not sure how effective this is. Very effective. Wow. Wow, that was actually really good. Let's see, fire at will off for you guys, so that we can get some burst damage on these knights over here. Along with the flock of doom. Let's see if they rout. These guys are very hard to rout, given that they're basically all elite knights. Actually, we have some knights of the realm here, but whatever. Whatever. That was a little bit sketchy there, but he did run into spears a lot. So we managed to pull through. I think our control of the wild riders there could have been better for sure. But I did feel pretty good about the Manticore summon. And how well did the Trebuchet do? 30 kills. Probably a lot of AoE though. I'd say that Trebuchet probably just about paid for itself, but maybe a little bit under. But okay, nice. Nice. Nice, nice. Pretty good. Hey, look at that. So let's actually take a look at his build now. Bunch of archers. Yeah, I think without any infantry, the problem of not having infantry is that we can brace our spears pretty reliably against his charges. Typically, I think what you would want as Bretonnia, especially because they're just so cheap, is to take 5 units of peasants, run them into melee with the Eternal Guard, and then you can really cycle charge them. You can really cycle charge down those Eternal Guard, since they won't be braced. And at the cost of only 500 gold, you get 5 peasants, which helps out a lot. Also, taking cheaper cavalry would do you good here instead of so many Grail Knights, since you really need a lot of cavalry if you want to get around these Eternal Guard. Now, it wasn't all for naught, since they held out for a very long time, but I personally like to take a lot of cheap cavalry instead. And of course, I think versus a tree blob build, this Bretonnian build might have some trouble. Oh, and hopefully one day, the dream is, guys, if someone says, are you Zyphos from Anticity's channel, that would make my life. I would rest easy if that ever happened. I doubt it. Don't want to get my hopes too high, but if we can ever even just scratch the surface of that level of recognition, wow, that would be quite something, wouldn't it? Of course, the dream of many aspiring streamers out there. Hey, maybe one day. And hey, with Warhammer 3 coming up, we're gonna have a whole lot of people joining the community. So that is very exciting. Warhammer 3 coming out when it's done. Same as my programming project. But anyways, with that out of the way, take a look at our build. We got monstrous units. You know what? I prefer these guys on control group 1 and these guys on 6. So we have our monsters, minotaurs for crabs, and chaos spawn for bombers. we have our centaurs with throwing axes. These guys are mobile. They can help pressure Luther. They can kill crabs. They can cycle charge infantry. Very nice units. They can do a whole bunch of tasks, just a little bit expensive. We have Ungor Raiders. Very cost efficient if they can keep using their ammo and if they continue firing. It is the job of the Vampire Coastier. Try to find a way to shut these guys down, because they will give me a lot of value. Now he could take mortars, but they can get shut down by harpies. And he could also take flying units, which also would get shut down by harpies. And even if he doesn't take flying units, our harpies can land on his ranged. So a very nice generalist unit, who are a little bit squishy, but cheaper than these centaurs. For our front line, a pretty cheap front line, who will be able to kill zombies pretty quickly, and also rush in on top of handguns. And for our hero selection, we have Mogr, the Shadow Gave, with his good old chaos summons, very cost efficient. And a Brave Shaman of Wild, our main counter to Sirens, with the 2 cheap AoEs that the Beastmen lore of magic have. So with that out of the way, let's see what our opponent has. He actually has a pretty large troop count. And we got some Shade Wraith Gunners. We got Deck Droppers. 3 of them, in fact. We got a Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires. Have a bunch of Gunnery Mob. So, and a bunch of Bombers. Now, we're going to want to rush in with our Chaos Spawn to shut down the ranged. He's shooting Mogr. Easy mistake to make. I have done it myself for sure. Mogr has 75 missile resist and 25% magic resist. He is not going to die anytime soon to missiles. Our harpies are shutting down those deck droppers very well, and he doesn't have a whole ton of guns to protect against harpies here. Let's try sneaking around his front line and get our archers shooting in on those bombers. Chaos Spawn, you continue doing your thing. And where are my Minotaurs? You guys can start rushing in. Now we've lost 1 unit of harpies. Not the worst. And the fighting is getting underway. Now, let's shut down those Shade Wraith Gunners. And start running in with those Minotaurs, giving his front line a hard time. It looks like our Centaurs actually got caught, which is a little bit of a shame there. These guys get on top of those Shade Wraith Gunners. How well does Brace Scream work against Shade Wraith? It does okay, but it's not wonderful. Alright, now let's see, our Chaos Spawn will want to keep pushing through. And we can spawn some more over there, and these harpies can go this way. Our Centaurs going to rush over to the left side. And nice. We've shut down a whole ton of his ranged. Now we just want to make sure our raiders stay alive. He doesn't have any crabs. So our Minotaurs... Oh, he does have crabs, rotting Prometheans. So we'll want to make sure our Minotaurs are kept nice and safe. Also a Vampire Fleet Admiral. We'll need to be worried about just a tiny bit. And nice, we have his infantry routing. I did forget he is playing as Sartosa. So his infantry routes. Shade Wraith Gunners, we want to be shutting those guys down for sure. And let's see here. Nice, we're killing those deck droppers, and we have a huge mass crumble on this side over here. Now this Fleet Admiral, she's a little bit hard to kill. Let's send Minotaurs after her. And whoa, Mogr. That is an Aranessa Salt Spite. I did not notice. We also lost our caster. And by lost, I mean he routed with a ton of Winds of Magic. But hey, would you look at that? He's back. Good on you, little caster. Now, let's see here. Let's keep going on the Shade Wraith. Ah, he's been healing them. Now, healing Shade Wraith Gunners is about the most cost-efficient thing you can do, as they have so little HP, because they are spectral, ghostly units. Oh, can't think. So Shade Wraith Gunners. Where are my Minotaurs? Are they gone? No, they're here. Go kill these guys. So Shade Wraith Gunners. The thing about Shade Wraith Gunners, as soon as my brain can process, is that they are ethereal units, but also very low model count because they are deck droppers. So they so when you Nehek them, when you give them an invocation of Nehek, they basically heal to full HP. It's very, very strong. Now, anyways, he does have a few crabs. He has a Fleet Admiral, Fleet Captain of Vampires, and he has these rotting Prometheans. But luckily for us, he does not have Scurvy Dogs to chase down our Ungor Raiders. He does not have Luther to kill our Minotaurs. And he does not have guns to kill our Centaurs with throwing axes. So they can just have a heyday laying down a whole bunch of damage on top of the crabs. And then we should win as long as we don't throw away Mogre. Get out of there, Mogre. No need to die to Aranessa today. Let's see here. We'll use our remaining magic on these zombie deckhands. Nice. There we go. And yeah, we'll just continue laying down that fire. Now, it is going to take a while to kill these crabs. They do still have a whole ton of armor, and our Ungor Raiders, they are plentiful. They don't punch very hard, so we'll give them a little bit of time to finish that up. And oh my gosh, we let Mogre die. Don't let your lord die, people. Just a general heads up, pro tip. Wow, man, Aranessa doing tons of damage there. But anyways, yeah, this game's just about over, as you can see. Beastmen, clearly way too strong. It needs a nerf. And Vampire Coast could use some buffs, obviously. But yeah, honestly, it came down to number one. We did not take any. We took very few hits from the bombers, using our monstrous units effectively. You look at the end screen here, you guys should see in just a second. Yes, if you want to win games against Vampire Coast, bombers should have this many kills. If they have 50 kills, you probably did something wrong. I think that is about key, since when your infantry doesn't die to bombers, you can see here that they get a whole ton of kills. The Shade Wraith Gunners, we just shut them down. Well, but you know, even if they do keep firing, it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, you can see based on the kills, we did a pretty good job shutting down the ranged units. Now, we did have a little bit of a hiccup at the end on actually killing off the 2 crab units, but that was more of a slowdown, since we did still have our answers to them. Losing the Minotaurs, of course, on our part was pretty bad. Taking so much damage on our lords was very bad, since if Mogre dies, you can get mass routes against Vampire Coast, so you got to be careful there. Our Harpies did their job versus these deck droppers. They were basically occupied the whole game, so we traded about 1 for 1 in terms of money there. And yeah, there you go. But yeah, really got to make sure you shut down the guns properly. All right, what's his army size? 1,000. Nice. So this time we are bringing the sub 600 army. And yeah. Let's see how this plays out. We got our cavalry on front. Sort of waste ammo for the next few minutes if you decide to skirmish us. We got Kolak, the stone troll killer himself, with a ton of AP damage, especially with his ability. And tons of bonus versus large. He'll be hitting them with basically every attack. And a Shaggoth. Basically your mini Kolak will be doing the exact same job. We got Pendulum to deal with the black orcs that come our way. An enfeebling foe to help deal with any single entities that need to be smashed with the hammers of chaos. Second last, we got stone trolls. I mean armored chaos trolls. Basically stone trolls, but without the missile resist. Which honestly, the missile resist on stone trolls and the magic resist really plays a huge part on them. So a little bit of a shame, but we'll make do. And last, and definitely least, we have our Swords of Chaos Knights. Fire damage. AP. Hey, they actually have pretty good AP, so maybe it'll work out. Alright, let's get enough stalling. Let's get into the game. What do we got? Nice, we got a small skirmish force. We also got stone trolls. No, river trolls. What the? The mad lad brought river trolls. Oh my gosh, how are we gonna use our AP? How do you even beat this? They got -6 melee attack in an AoE. Well, anyways, yeah. Of course, just joking. River trolls, widely known to be not very good, mostly because they don't have a whole ton of armor. Really, the problem with trolls in general is that they get shot up by arrows and they get routed easily. River trolls really are no different in that case. We have a spell of some sort coming down. Is that a Foot of Gork? No, it's a rock drop. Interesting. So, some nice spells from the River Troll Hag. But we will eventually get out skirmished here, by the looks of it. So we do want to get the fight started against Skarsnik. Apparently already has 2 kills. Looks like he used his ability. His Skarsnik's Prodder special weapon. But okay, you know what? I'm thinking we just want to rush into Skarsnik and give him a little bit of a lesson in anti-large. And there we go. Wow, Kolak missed. Come on. What was that charge? Oh, and another miss. Wow, that is rough. That is rough. Maybe we just need an enfeebling foe on Skarsnik then. To really teach him a lesson. Now, those are just goblins. But this army is basically all goblins anyways. So putting a pendulum on them won't go to waste. And how's Kolak doing? Looks like he hasn't hit Skarsnik at all. So we're going to cycle charge with them and go for another attempt. Our Chaos Knights? I mean, Swords of Chaos Knights. Look at that. Punishing those river trolls. With a nice charge. And whoa, we forgot about the boar cavalry. We've been so zoomed in. We did not see those guys coming. They might actually put some pretty good damage on Kolak. So let's see if we can take him out with a pendulum. Like so. And how are our Chaos Knights doing? Nice, they're running down some river trolls. We've also taken care of the big guns. And the river trolls are shattered, but our left flank, we really left that to die. So we're just going to reposition them and bring them over to the main fight over here. Now Kolak, you are going to go back and give another cycle charge to Skarsnik, since killing him will be it'll play a huge part in winning this game. give him an enfeebling foe. And see if we can get him to rout. Let's see here. Does he not have fermented fungi? He does, so we should be expecting Kolek to get rampaged here sometime soon. But it looks like he's having a very hard time hitting Skarsnik. I'm not sure exactly why. But we've committed a lot of resources trying to finish him off. We're going to see if that hurts us here. Come on, Kolek, get another charge in on Skarsnik. You really want to get him routed. And in just a second, it looks like we do manage to get him routed, so that's nice. Now, Chaos Knights holding up surprisingly well against the River Trolls. These guys, you know what? I stand corrected. They're not the worst in the world. They are getting bogged down by big guns, though. Which are definitely doing a lot of damage. And also Kolek has taken some damage himself, too. Hey, look at that. The Chaos Knights standing their ground against the big guns. No, honestly, not the worst cavalry in the world. It's just that they're really expensive. Now, we're going to get them to charge into those archers. And nice. It looks like Kolek landing some hits. Finally gets to kill off that River Troll Hag along with his buddy, the other Shaggoth. Nice. Lucky for us too, our armored Chaos Trolls didn't get chased off by our opponent. Which means that they'll be able to come back at basically full HP and help us finish off this game. Our skirmishing force is stronger than his, so we're not too afraid chasing and trying to find a melee fight with them, like those rusty archer goblins. River Troll Hag escaping Kolek, but not for long. You can see them rushing in to finish her off. It looks like all those spirit leeches on Kolek here really went to waste. Since Kolek, if you don't kill him with the spirit leeches, it is not worth it. They'll just come. You'll still do just as much damage as if you hadn't spirit leeched him. And there we go. There we go. GG. This game is saying a lot about the state of Greenskins. Is it? Is it though? I'm not sure about that exactly. It's a little bit of an unorthodox game, especially because Skarsnik did not use fermented fungi. Yes, that's correct. Swords of Chaos carrying. In fact, you can see here they had the most kills out of any other unit. These guys, pretty good. As for our Marauder Horsemen, they did a nice job keeping those Spider Archers back. And I'm surprised the Orc Boar Big Guns did not give us a harder time there. I really would have thought that they would have killed the Swords of Chaos. Possibly just a mismicro from our opponent. And it looks like his front line was really weak. He spent a lot of money on those River Trolls, and it did not pay off. So GG. Also, of course, we got very good pendulums, which I think that's really what won us the game. Anyways, onto the game. Have a pretty small army against a pretty small army. We got double Necro Knights. We have a nice strong front line who we do not want to get pendulumed, so we'll push them back a little bit. Double Tomb Scorpion to cycle charge any infantry that get engaged. Good luck, have fun, get at mule. Let's see how this goes. Cetra, you can go here. Double Necrotect, you will be safe in the back. Now, if you did bring a huge skirmishing force, that would be really annoying to deal with because we do not have any ranged units. So he could just kite us with Marauder Horsemen for the entire game. But At the very least, it's only 2. We won't be taking too much damage. For his lord, he has Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, with basically all of his items. Fireball and Burning Head. Burning Head, very strong ability. Looks like we've got a bunch of Chaos Warriors. The Chaos Warriors that are immune to psychology. Never mind, those are Demon Spew. Wow, okay. But yeah, let's get the fighting underway. Tomb Scorpions, you go do your thing. And we're just going to be keeping our reserves here. To make sure that we don't die. Tomb Scorpion, you go there. Go there. Okay, nice. And it looks like Cetra is taking an absolutely huge beating. Let's get those Necropolis Knights in. And get a huge debuff. And that's a Burning Head. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Okay, nice. That Burning Head. Homing missile onto our Kepler Guard. Actually, it missed. It missed pretty hard, so nice. Nice. These guys can't heal Cetra, right? Oh, they can. Would you look at that? Learn something new every day. Now, Tomb Scorpions, you can go over here. We want you to just be cycle charging 24/7. And same with you, Cetra. You keep cycle charging too. Our Necropolis Knights actually managed to rout off those Chaos Warriors. Good on them. They're going to be pinning down that Shaggoth. And our Kepler Guard can deal with the infantry. Now we have another Scorpion here. Very much wants to be on top of infantry. And another one that very much wants to be cycle charging. One of our Necrotechs is dying, so we'll pull him back. And Cetra actually doing a pretty good job versus the Shaggoth there. Nice. Looks like we're still getting good cycle charges over there. And this is looking pretty good. Oh, we have another Burning Head. Get out of the way. Right. Looks like we didn't take too much damage there. Our guys get back over there. Shaggoth is on the run. Tomb Scorpion cycle charging. Now this build is not the best build. I feel like having cavalry here would have done us a tiny bit better. Okay, apparently these guys can't heal Cetra. That's weird. I thought I healed them earlier. Anyways, where's my micro? Oh, Tomb Scorpion. Don't die. Cetra, don't die too. Let's see here. Okay, let's get that Ushabti summon. And let's get our Necropolis Knights over here. Cetra, you're on infantry duty for the rest of the game. While these guys pump up our Necropolis Knights, which I probably should have been healing earlier. But this is looking a little bit rough now, actually. Where did our Kepler Guard go? They're here. Okay. And we want our halberds over there. Our Necrotechs are out of heals. And nice. Going to see if we can continue to beat down on Archaon while keeping him as far away from Cetra as possible. We still have a Tomb Scorpion, so let's make sure we control that guy well. And Archaon is having a hard time. We'll be able to pick off those Marauder Horsemen. And nice. Cetra, even though he's low, still being very useful. Maybe he can kill the Shaggoth. He does. That would be big. Let's see. Come on. Have to be very careful there, though, not to die to Archaon. Like we got more Chaos Warriors. Let's keep cycling our our infantry so that we get the correct fight going on. And oh dear, it looks like there's a Shaggoth coming in. We're just gonna have to hope that he misses Cetra. But it looks like he is down. That hurts. That hurts pretty bad. We do have our Necropolis Knights though, and they are quite healthy. Oh, but we should not be losing the Tomb Scorpion. We gave it a very bad matchup with that Shaggoth. We're just going to send it back to deal with infantry. Come on, go over there. And this game is actually pretty close. Let's see. Yep, just keep killing infantry. These Necropolis Knights are over there, and we have our Tomb Guard Halberd doing very well. And the double Necrotechs are actually a little bit of a threat here. I'm thinking they will serve us nice and well. Oh, looks like our Tomb Scorpion getting dived on again, but this time there is not a lot of infantry left. For you, Gedat Mule. Oh, and we have another Burning Head. Let's dodge out of the way of that. And then cycle charge in with everything. Now, will our Tomb Scorpion get the hit in before it dies? That's a no. Rip Tomb Scorpion. Served well. Let's see here. So we want our double Necrotech to go in on Archaon. We want our Necropolis Knights to go kill these Shaggoths. These Necropolis Knights have actually done us very well this game. It seems like they just don't die, and they do pretty good damage to large. The only real problem here is Archaon, who will take a while to kill, given that he has 60 melee defense versus their what is this? Actually, these guys have pretty good melee attack versus large, so I do stand corrected. So nice, that's one Shaggoth down. And in just a second, we'll have the second Shaggoth down. And our Necropolis Knights will be able to cycle charge Archaon to their heart's content. Wow, what a game. What a game. And hey, Gobbo Slayer, nice to see you here. We have our Necrotechs valiantly fighting against Archaon, doing a little bit of damage. But importantly, tanking hits. Making sure that our Necropolis Knights don't take so much damage. And these Kepra Guard also did us very good here. So all in all, quite happy with how this turned out. Now, this is not the most optimized Tomb King's build, for sure. But it worked out in this case. I think, like these Kepra Guard, 100 kills on Chaos Warriors. They did very good work. And nice. Archaon is routed. And GG. GG. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow. Yeah, so I think, really, the main thing that happened here, we went very greedy with this rush build, given that we had no ranged units. Gedat Mule could have definitely just kited us with Marauder Horsemen for the whole game. And just cycle charged with the Shaggoths. Which would have been pretty worrying. I think these Chaos Warriors with Halberds, they did okay. But I think Chaos Warriors' great weapons would have served him better. Especially versus units like this, the Kepra Guard. Got 102 kills versus Chaos Warriors. I think the great weapon variant would have served him better. Gameplay wise, I think he did a pretty good job shutting down Cetra. The Tomb Scorpions did get quite a bit of value. Which routed off his infantry. And having won the infantry fight, I just carried out with my Tomb Guard. But yeah, very interesting game. And